Hi Ollie, thank you for participating in today's session, much appreciated.
No worries, mate.
Just thought we'd do some feedback, having done initial consultation and some feedback throughout the session, but to wrap it up as a bit of a review.
Yep.
So the first movement we did following warm-up was the PT9, which was one advanced cardiovascular technique. That comprised 5 minutes on the Concept 2 bike, where I showed you how to move it, and then following that, and how to set it up. Following that, we did 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. I went through NAMSET and the 4Ms throughout, but I could, from the session, I could see that there was it was quite intense. I was just wondering if you had some feedback on that movement.
Just obviously just walking in the gym and then going to that straight away. Just felt like it was a bit, like you say, too intense. Just for the first exercise. Like usually I just go in and just slowly build myself into the session. And going, was it 30 seconds on or?
I think it's 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off.
Yeah. Just that intense was just a little bit too much, I'd say, than what I'd prefer to do. But obviously everybody's different. Some people might prefer that type of warm up, but I don't. So I prefer just like building myself into it.
Spot on. Yeah. So take that feedback going forward and implement into your program. That's fine. Thank you. The next one, so appreciate that was quite intense at the start of the session. We went into resistance technique, which was muscular endurance, and for that we did a plate loaded chest press, and with it being muscle endurance, that focus on a higher rep range, typically 10 to 12 or 12 to 15. As such, that was a pressing movement, and we obviously went on to the hypertrophy movement afterwards. How did you find the pressing movement for the higher reps? I remember during the session you said you felt the weight was a little bit light and maybe the movement could have been something a little bit more accessory driven.
I just prefer that my type of training would be lower reps and put more weight on. I did find that the weight was a little bit too light from what I normally do. But it felt okay. It's always good to obviously mix up your training and what have you, and to do different types of variation of reps and sets and whatever. But it was a little bit too light. It's the only really feedback that I've got, to be honest. Probably could have just pushed myself a little bit more.
Do you think it might have helped if you'd have done the muscular endurance perhaps after the hypertrophy movement, so you maybe pre-fatigued the muscle?
So the muscle's completely warmed up, and then we'd
gone into some
higher reps and higher
Spot
weight.
On. Brill. And obviously we spoke about maybe perhaps that being more of a flying movement for from an upper push perspective, something that's more accessory driven rather than compound.
Just get the blood flow into it and then go into your compounds, you know what I mean?
Spot on. So from that, obviously we've spoken about the muscle endurance. We went into the hypertrophy movement, which was for this a flat bench press. Obviously you executed, I think from memory, it was 60 kg, and that was 5 to 6 reps. We spoke about it at the time that typically you'd be looking at more of a 100 kg plus for that movement and that amount of reps. Do you have any other feedback on the flat bench press, and also my, let's say, the implementation of NAMSET during it, so my assistance and feedback during the session?
To be honest, it's always good to take the weight back and concentrate more on your form, which I find with the bench, which makes it more effective for my type of training. Just take the weight back and just concentrate more on your form and how you're doing the load. But it felt a little bit too light, but like I say, take it back and just concentrate on your form, making sure that you're getting that maximum potential.
Spot on. Brill. No, there was good form executed on that, and I can see that you could definitely, there's scope for you to add more weight in the future. Spot on. The next one was the core exercise. So I know this was something completely different to what you've done before, but we used the wood chops. So that was a cable wood chop targeting the core, but obviously there's lots of obliques, lower back, quite an upper body dominant movement. execute it very well with some input from myself. Is that something that you'd look at use going forward over a normal sit up or crunch?
Yeah, definitely. Like, usually just do Russian twist, but felt like I've got more like targeting my obliques more.
Yeah.
With obviously the wood chops, so I probably implement that in my training, definitely. To probably help with my golf as well, with my golf swing. So if I could just build that weight up and hopefully get better at golf as well.
Spot on. Good. Got to hear it. And then finally was the advanced flexibility technique, which was PNF, and that was a hamstring and glute stretch. You spoke about that you don't usually do that post-session. You focus quite a lot on dynamic warm-ups, but your post-workout stretching is perhaps something that you neglect. It was good feedback during it in terms of my input to help you achieve that extra stretch and perhaps a bit of injury prevention as well, especially in your lower. Obviously we mentioned golf, your training and high rocks, etc., and running alongside that. Is that something that you'd look to use in the future?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think I neglect me stretching and mobility, flexibility.
Yeah.
Quite a lot, to be honest, which I probably should implement it more in my training. But yeah, definitely, I felt there was just a lot less achiness and soreness the day after the session. So, but yeah, I'll probably implement it in my training going forward.
Spot on. And just to wrap up, as a general, I'd say I observed some great training from yourself. Obviously, you give feedback during the session. Hopefully, I'll give you the support through NAMSET and the 4Ms to give you guidance or 360 feedback as you were carrying out the sets and between sets as well, to explain before and during. Hopefully, it's something that you found beneficial, and thank you again for your time. Definitely. Have you got anything to give feedback to myself on?
No, I just think that you executed the when we're stretching off and the mobility and stuff, just having that support there, I thought that you did quite well to get me even stretch even further than we probably would have.
Yeah.
So I think it's all general knowledge of yourself anyway, so yeah.
Brill.
Happy days.
Thank you for your feedback, and I'll make sure it's implemented into your programme and it'll be amended accordingly to help you going forward.
Brill. Thank you very much.